Dear students, this is episode number 3 on 2D. We discussed the story in detail in the previous episode. Let us discuss more things or different aspects. 2D is a short story by Russian author Leo Tolstoy. I discussed a question in the first episode. What would happen due to procedure delay or lapse? A death sentence is to be converted into life imprisonment, or vice versa. This only suggests that there is a loophole in the system, in the judiciary system. We have seen in the story the king was very liberal, but he was foolish. Liberal, he thought, or he was mindless. When the ministers came together, brought the judgment to the king, he said, if the criminal has to be executed, execute him. There is no second thought or any other discussion on the judgment. He knew that it was bad to take or earn or collect revenue from the things like tobacco and drink. He continued. He knew that the gaming houses were harmful because they were banned, prohibited, abandoned everywhere else. But he continued. He thought that nobody can earn a stone palace through honest labor. That is the way he continued. Dear students, everyone knows gambling is harmful. Person who gamble or who hold a gaming house, everyone knows it is bad, because the consequences of the gaming houses, loss, harm to individuals is well known, but it is a kind of addiction. No, you know that what is bad, but you can't stop it, that kind of addiction. The king was okay with that. He was aware that what he was doing, still he was doing because that is how he wanted to earn and to keep his kingdom, as a court, a palace, and courtiers, and everything. He must keep it. Because the king should behave like, or should look like a king only when he has all these things. So this was a thoughtless king, or a king who knew what he was doing, though it was wrong, but he was doing it, was not stopping it. When the ministers came together, that they expressed that there was a hitch in in executing the criminal. They had to buy the guillotine machine. That would cost 600 francs and 1200 francs respectively from French government and Italian monarch, that he thought too much about it, spending money on a criminal to execute him. Would any nation or would any government or would any king think too much about the expenses that would take place in order to punish a criminal? Criminal has to be punished. That sends a good message to the society. If anybody does the same kind of a crime once again, they would meet that kind of a punishment. If the criminal is given concessions, rabbit, one after the other like this, it sends a wrong message to the society that you can do anything and still escape. The king was thoughtless about it. When the ministers came together that they converted the death sentence into life imprisonment, he okayed it. He appreciated the ministers for bringing out such solutions for them. But when he saw 600 francs as an annual expenditure for the guard and the criminal to keep in the prison, he found once again it's too much to spend on the rascal who doesn't deserve that much to be spent. The guard was dismissed. He approved it off. The criminal was allowed to go away. He was aware of it. So this happened that he was given a pension of 600 francs for what? The king thought a 600 francs to keep the criminal in the jail would be too expensive, then he would be giving the same to the criminal. So you can see all this just not monarchy but anarchy, lawlessness, stupidity of the governance. There are so many stupidities that we have in the governance that we see every day in a democratic society. Ministers pass the bill saying that this is the will of the people, but most of the times they won't help the people at all. But not all of them, but most of the times it happens. There are errors in the making of the bills. These loopholes are encashed by the people who understands law, manipulate them to their purpose, to their benefits. Dear students, we have seen all such mishappenings, misunderstandings, or we see this type of anarchy in the story, which is the state of many governing or governance that we have in the world. Dear students, as I said, we will discuss question and answers in this session. Along with that, we will discuss the story more. So let me take you through the question and answers of this lesson. The first question, comprehension 1. Why Monaco was called a toy kingdom? You tell me why, you know it already. Monaco is called a tiny kingdom because the population of Monaco was very less. It was only 7,000. Second question. Name the commodities taxed in Monaco. This is the question asked in several exams in the past. In annual exams, this question has come up more than 5 times. Maybe the question is posed differently, but the same question. What are the commodities that were taxed? There was a tax on tobacco, wine, and spirit, a kind of a poll tax. Third question. What was the source of the king's special revenue? Who were the beneficiaries? The special revenue was from a gaming house where people play roulette. The owner of the gaming house, it should be game house or gaming house, and the king were the beneficiaries. Fourth question. Why did the Germans stop gaming houses in their country, and how did it benefit Monaco? Because the gaming house was caused much harm, and the people risked their money and their lives. They shot themselves or committed suicide. They were very harmful, so they were banned. Fifth question. What was the punishment given to the murderer? The murderer was condemned to have his head cut off. He was sentenced to death, execute him. But later on, the decisions changed. But at the first time, the sentence was that, the decision was that, the judgment was that he should be punished, given a capital punishment. The death sentence was converted into life imprisonment. The reason is that carrying out death sentence was expensive. They thought it was too dear, too dear. How much did the king spend on the criminal annually? He spent 600 francs annually on this criminal. More than that. Next question. On what condition did the criminal agree to go away from the prison? Why was his demand fulfilled? On a condition that he should be given a pension regularly, he agreed to go away from the prison. It was too dear, too expensive for the king to keep him in the jail, so his demand was fulfilled. Dear students, likewise, I have clearly written down the question and answers here. Comprehension 1 is the one I discussed with you, and comprehension 2 and 3, and we have question and answers. I am going to send you the PDF file of this. You will have a question and answers. I would like you to go through all of them and read the story, read the question answers. If you have any doubt, any question, any clarification required, you can write it to me. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.